Okay, I would like to choose a certain method or manner in which I want to express something very important, which can be proved by yourself if you decide to do so. And so, what I'm about to show you is something you can test yourself to see if it's true. It's also something that won't seem true until you test it yourself to see if it's true. And so the whole point here is that I'm presenting you with something that you can go do yourself, and you can go find out that I'm right. And what I want to tell you is that right now when I tell you what I'm about to tell you, you're not going to probably think I'm right. You're probably going to think like, no, he's imagining things, or he just, yeah, like you're going to be in doubt, or you're going to be skeptical, and it's normal that you would be. But this will be one way to kind of get an idea on how to see through my eyes when you can't. Only I can. Um, and so it's a way that you will be able to get some faith and believe in me and believe in yourself and have a whole new outlook. So what I want to tell you about is what I was shown by someone very important to me who, I'm sorry if God, the word goddess offends people. I'm sorry if the divine feminine is if it's offensive to the fact that I talk so highly of her. But I understand that it's just a fact. So what I'm saying is that she taught me something that I'm going to teach you now. So she taught me what I'm about to try and teach you. She showed me what I'm about to show you. And she also proved to me, and I proved to myself because I went out and tested her. I went out and tested it to see if what she was saying was true. And I found it certainly is. And it blew my mind away. I'm not worried about the fact people might discover my gold. It's not my gold, it's our gold. So, what I want to tell you is that, first of all, if you're looking for something to give you some faith, give you some confidence, spiritual confidence, something to help you believe in a higher power, something to be exciting, and a real interaction, which is utterly exciting and gives you purpose, brings your purpose back in life to where you're not afraid anymore, where you can finally become brave. Like, wow, I never thought I'd ever become brave. I always wanted to be brave. I never thought I was actually going to ever succeed in doing it. I was mostly disappointed my entire life because I felt like a coward inside, and I was always disappointed because I so badly wanted to be like brave. And ultimately, I never thought I could do it, but maybe I couldn't without the divine feminine helping me. Ultimately, she showed me how to do things that I could never have done without her. And I want to help you do those things, whether you have her or not, in the sense that I hope you are open-minded to be open-minded about it. Okay, I'm not talking against God. God's great, and the religions are free to do what they want. I'm not getting in their way, and she's not going to get in their way either. So we're not against religion. We're not against anybody, and we're not against God. Not at all. The reality is that for the understanding purposes, you will come to understand why I'm doing all that I have to do, and there's a very important reason for it. Okay, so um, we all look for gold. We want to go out and be seeking treasure hunt, finding treasures. And everybody wants to do it, right? But the gold's all been found, right? Pretty much, right? I mean, most of it has, and ultimately there's still gold out there. But it's not like the old days when you can go out and find treasure. It's like all the treasure's been found, people collect it. Now it's all in museums or someone's private collection, which means that you can't really the adventuring of discovering something profound that changes your life profoundly. Well, it seems to be gone. It seems to be the old days when we can go on a treasure hunt in a pirate ship and have an adventure, Robin Hood adventure. But like we can't do it anymore. It's like the world is becoming, yeah, it's all. But we've already done all the adventures. All the treasure's been found, right? No, no, my friends, the treasure's not been found, like by any means. And understand the best treasures you'll ever find in your life won't be gold. There'll be things which have to do with human spiritual contact, ownership, possession of, meaning things like a ring someone wore their whole life will become meaningful to you, even if it's silver or copper, rather than it has to be gold. Because understand that a gold ring that's never been worn by someone has no spiritual value. It just has a monetary value. And when you find a ring with spiritual value, it certainly doesn't have to be gold if it does have spiritual value, because it won't even matter the monetary value of it. Understand, when you start to see from my eyes, you will forget about the monetary anything, because what you're going to start to do is realize that the money is not in the monetary system, it's in the spiritual entity, it's in the spiritual system. And monetary is fine. I'm not saying you can't be liking to have possessions. I love possessions and I love to buy new things. So money's great, but the reality is it's the root of all evil too, and I'm not going to focus on that part of it. I want you to know there are more treasures lying in your front yard or on the hill behind your house than you can possibly believe, and I'm going to show you how to find them. Okay, so first of all, what have we said a treasure is? Well, a treasure is something that someone maybe had their whole life. A treasure doesn't have to be worth money. It has to be worth spiritual money, or it has to be something like, anything somebody had, somebody wore, somebody made with their own hands, somebody carved on, maybe put a date on, maybe drew a picture on, like a caveman painting, anything exciting like a sword, a sword, maybe a rusty old steel sword, maybe any kind of weapon that was used by cavemen, a weapon that has like pictures of wife and children, Fred Flintstone style, on it. Something has a date carved into it, literally from like 500-600 years ago. You can find them, but not only can you find them, I'm going to show you how to do it. First of all, I want to say that recognizing a treasure, which will be, they're mostly weapons, and not that weapons are great, but weapons are just what cavemen had. Weapons are what men have been using. So if you go out there and find a bunch of treasures, a lot of them will be weapons, arrowheads, things fashioned for hunting, and also any kind of personal item. It could be a carving of for a daughter. It could be a carving of anything, many carvings, but many detailed, ornate carvings of whole families, houses, systems. We could find maps. You want to find Indian maps of old Indian villages on rocks. I mean, you want to open your eyes to a whole new world of excitement and understand you won't care about money anymore when you start to see what spirit's all about, and that spiritual money is worth more than gold when you feel it. It is not only felt to be cashed in as is, but it's something you can collect. So just like you can collect gold, you can collect spiritual. So when you do what I'm suggesting, when you do what I'm going to teach you today, what I'm going to show you, when you go out and try it, you will gain a spiritual benefit that is actually real, not just pretend. And plus your imagination, pretended or not, could just add to it. But the reality is, what I'm saying is, just like you can go out and collect gold and save it in the bank and it just gets more and more, you can go out and collect spirit, and you can collect it and it gets more and more, which means you become richer in spirit, greater in spirit, more powerful in spirit, more influential in spirit, more happy in spirit, more willing in spirit, more everything. And understand that it'll change your confidence level, your happiness. It'll make you content. It'll bring a purpose. It'll give you every magical thing you can possibly dream of. I'm not selling you anything. I'm showing you something that's free. It's utterly free. It doesn't cost you a dime to go out and do this. It doesn't cost a penny. And it'll bring more riches to you than ever. And ultimately, what am I really going to gain from it? Oh, well, you'll never forget me forever. I promise that. And on top of that, you'll almost certainly support me fully when you see the rewards. So what are the rewards? Understand that all things, all objects that have been used by humans can carry what's called spiritual charge. If I have an axe and I use this axe for 20 years and I carry it around my belt for 20 years, in 1500, from 1500 to 1520. That was like 500, 600, 700 years ago. Understand that axe can be sitting out in a hillside somewhere, and when someone finds it, well, the fact someone had carried that on their side, had kept it as a cherished weapon, maybe used it in a battle, maybe fought in a battle, maybe many battles with it. Maybe there's blood on the axe. I mean, ultimately, it's not good to. The spirit of fighting is not what we're looking at here. It's the human spiritual charge and the energy that comes from an object that's been held and cherished by a human. And understand there are so many objects out in the hills, and they're right in front of your face, and what I'm going to tell you is you will not recognize them at first. So what I want you to know is, during this adventure of showing you this, I want you to know that at first right now you have no ability to see Goddess. You can't see Goddess. You don't know how. You have to take my word that I could see her, but you can't see. If you go out on the hillside right now, you can't see an axe sitting on the hillside, but I'll find an axe every time I look. And understand, when I go out, I always find an axe, which means that I find 3 or 4 axes. So understand that what I'm saying is that what I learned was, when I first went out to do it, I couldn't see. And understand, I just didn't think there was nothing out there, right? That's what I mean, isn't it logical to assume if I couldn't, I looked, I saw things on the ground, I was looking, but obviously I didn't find anything, right? Not for a while, not for a short, I had practiced for a while. But what was so profound is when I started to have the sight, when I could see Goddess, when I could see or recognize the objects on the ground, when I was able to, I could not believe they're all over the place, and they're right in front of my face. And then I started going places, and I was finding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm like, wait a minute, did you just put them all here? I mean, I used to go out everywhere and see nothing. But how could everywhere I look, I see something? Which means that, like yesterday, I was up in the mountains, and I was looking, just scanning the ground, and I saw so many I recognized so many human objects that were important to humans, that they kept for years, that they created. And I'm going to show you something right now, and understand it's probably going to be the next video, because these videos have to be under 15 minutes. So you have to catch the next video. I got about 2 minutes left, and then I got to shut it off and make another one. So what I'm going to show you are some of the stuff I found. And understand, this stuff I found is utterly profound. It's profound in the sense that if you went up in the hills right now behind your house, you're not going to see anything on the ground, right? What if I said they're all over the place, man? If you go to any 20-foot area, I'll pick up 7 things and show you, and you won't be able to see them though. You'll say that's a rock. That's just a piece of wood. Oh yeah? Wait till you start to understand how to see rocks, and wait till you understand wood language, and then understand. When I started to learn wood language in rock, I couldn't believe I didn't ever know it before. I'll see you in the next video, and I'll have all of it to show you.